So we're here with Inka Gonzalez, the urban co-chair for the GCPG, and Kevin English from our publicity chair of the GCPG. Kevin's also, you probably recognize him from one of our shows with Positive Impact. And Inka, you actually work with Atlanta in Atlanta, is that correct?
Yes, that is.
So how did you get involved with the GCPG?
It's an interesting story. Working at Aid Atlanta, I'm in prevention, and so my supervisor just invited me to go to a meeting. So I said, okay, let me go to a meeting, hear what it's all about. So I kind of didn't understand all of the process, but I was just watching and observing. Didn't ask any questions, was pretty quiet. And then I was like, well, this is something that looks like I want to be a part of. I went to the website, read some more information, and so I submitted my application. And I went to the orientation, learned everything about what GCPG is about and how it fits in with the CDC's plan, and then I attended a meeting, and the rest is history from there. Thank you.
Well, Kevin, how about you? How did you get involved with the GCPG?
Wow. From a previous employer, I was made to go. So, and I didn't know what I was getting involved in, what it was, but over time, you know, I learned about GCPG and what it stood for and getting involved in the process. So I've been in it, I've lost count, maybe 7, 8 years.
Okay. Can you address some of the issues in the urban environment that are affecting HIV today?
We have a lot of people in an urban area. I think when you hear urban, you think the first thing is people. So we have a lot of issues with a lot of people coming in. In Atlanta specifically, in the Atlanta metro area, we have people moving in every day, people moving out, but more people moving in from other places. So making sure people access care is an issue, as well as people having access to prevention services and making sure that there's enough programming and money, resources around for people to be able to access that and to know that these services are available. So those are some of the issues in the urban area.
When I came to the first GCPG meeting, I noticed the diversity of people there and the amount of people there. But I didn't understand whether you had to be part of an aid service organization or you could just come up on your own. What are the rules and regs on that?
It's a pretty neat thing is that you don't have to be affiliated with an organization, a community-based organization. You don't have to be a member. What we ask is that you represent a specific population. So it may be a risk group that you may belong to, such as, or a group such as men who have sex with men. It may be intravenous drug users. It could be that you also could be a Latino, Hispanic person, African American. So you represent a population more than you represent an agency. We both are from agencies and aid service organizations, but that's just kind of how it happened. That's not a requirement.
Right. Yeah, and say I represent a population of men who have sex with men who is also HIV positive. So I represent that group more so than anything or even my agency.
Okay. So let me ask this question because I'm just curious. Has anyone ever been part of the group who is not positive?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes, you don't have to be HIV positive. You don't have to work in the field. It's somebody that has a genuine interest in prevention.
Or passion for it. You know, passion for the idea or of HIV, period.
And making sure that prevention services represent their community. That's where it comes from, is making sure that we're including everybody in the community. Hence why there's the rural co-chair to make sure that those voices are heard, as well as the urban co-chair, which is who I am, to make sure those voices are heard and represented.
Now, Kevin, you're in charge of publicity, and that's how I got to know about the GCPGs through you. Exactly. You were the chair of that publicity. So how do you work with the publicity group to inform people about the GCPG?
Well, there's a committee of us, and we sit down and, well, first of all, we have, the GCPG has meetings 4 times a year. Twice in Atlanta, once in Augusta, and once in Savannah. And so it's our job to get the word out, especially if we're in other areas, to health departments, aid service organizations, nightclubs, wherever we think we can find the population or the group of people that are interested in HIV and AIDS, and let them know that we're going to be in their community or in their area, and give them the information on where we're going to be located in the times. And so with that said, I invited you to one of our meetings so you could see what goes on and how important it is, and then here we are.
Now, what would you say would be the challenges for people living in an urban environment for HIV today?
I think kind of knowing where to go. It can be kind of challenging because there seems like there's so many options, or because there seems like there's so many options that there may seem like there are no options. And also, how do you access them? What are the rules and regulations for each specific site? I think that can be very intimidating to people. So I think those are some of the challenges in an urban area. I think one of the common challenges that we have in urban and rural areas is transportation. Regardless, transportation is a common problem because how do you get somewhere? If you have a mass transit system, which in metro Atlanta area is not that well-rounded, and so how do you get places in an area so large? And then in a rural area, it's very spread out with no mass transit. So I think those are some of the challenges that we have in urban areas.
Because I did see that y'all have what I call open mic,
Yes.
An open mic period. Can you explain a little bit about the open mic?
Opportunity for what we call the gallery for the people who are visiting and who are representing their communities to come up to the mic and state what their issues are in their areas, so that we'll know and we can take those issues to the table and discuss them and see if we can rectify some of those issues.
Tell me now, we have 4 meetings a year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only time y'all see each other, or are y'all in constant communication? Or
We are in constant communication. I think Kevin is a good example. He's our publicity chair. Our executive committee meets by conference call because we're all around the state. We meet once a month, and we usually meet, we stay for an hour, usually an hour and a half.
Right.
And we meet to make sure we address the issues of the body. So the committee, the executive committee represents the overall body. And each committee chair meets with his or her committee once a month as well. And so I think what's really important is that although we have our 4 meetings a year and we're always very excited to come together, we're a working body. It's very important to note that this is not just an event, but it's a process to make sure that all of the prevention needs in Georgia are represented and included. And so I think that's where we're trying to make sure that everybody understands that.
And y'all do a wonderful job. Y'all are just always so. I've just been amazed by your group. Now that I've been exposed to it, the more I get exposed, the more I just think y'all are doing a great job. And thank you both, because this is volunteer. Y'all do this on a volunteer basis.
It's
Is
not
that right?
paid, so
No, not
you have
paid.
to love it to do this.
So, and y'all do a fantastic job, and I just really want to commend y'all for the work that you do, especially for the GCPG and the HIV community at large, and even at your organization. So thank y'all so much. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.